Today's video of the Budget Build K5 Blazer, we're going to work on this. We got a bunch of electrical gremlins we're working on, and my assistant likes borrowing my garage. Alright guys, I don't know where this is going to be in this video, but I got something to show you. I always say go back 6 months or see the last time any major repair was done. Well, obviously this fuel tank was dropped, taken out at one time. I can guarantee that. And I didn't do this, by the way. I am going to show the proper way to do this, and it's not the tuna can method. My wife's driving the Suburban. Okay. Always watch your wires. I'm going to try to get this. I hope I can get this for you guys. Let's see if you can see that or not. See these wires? Yep, you can see it. Take a close look at that picture and tell me what's wrong with it. If you guessed that the fuel tank wires are stuck in the cross member that holds the fuel tank up, that would be a likely observation there. That's what I just found. And I know that this had been messed with. We got one splice there, one splice there. There was a splice here. This one was spliced. So I'm taking all these splices out, and I'm going to hook one here, and I'm going to rewire it back underneath. But anytime you guys have a problem, always go back to any time anybody has done any work recently, because a lot of times wires get pinched. People aren't paying attention to what they're doing, and they'll pinch them wires. Let me get on this and I'll get back to you. Okay, so when I'm wiring these back together, I also use the same size gauge wire, and this one's actually a little bit bigger, but that's all I had, so bigger's better than smaller. So I get these heat shrink connectors. These right here. They're a butt connector, and they come in different sizes for all the different gauge wire and stuff. And I like using these. They're very convenient. You just got to be careful though, because when you crimp these, you can poke a hole in the heat shrink. So just be careful when you're doing it. You can, if it's in a heavily traveled area, well, this is going to be outside the truck, so you definitely got to at least do this. You know what? I am going to go one step further, because this stuff can get. I don't want any more troubles in the future with this. So I'm probably going to get some heat shrink tubing and go over this as well. But what you do is you just take your little cigarette lighter, little torch, whatever you got, and you melt the ends, and it makes it a nice weather sealed deal. So I'm going to take this wire, and this one is a what was this originally, yellow wire right here, but this one's dead because there's a new hole here and a new hole here, but that was a yellow wire that goes back down that's stuck in there. I'm just going to leave it. So I got yellow wire. That's as close as I can get to yellow. So what I'll do is I'll get these, and then I'll fish them back down and connect them up to the other side of the frame. I sure am hoping that this is part of my electrical problem, but since I ripped that alarm system out yesterday or day before, maybe day before yesterday, my key don't work for the starter, so I have to go back through and make sure I get those wires hooked back up together. But this is what we got so far. I tracked down some wiring problems, and this is how you fix them. Just laying underneath and going back and looking where any goober gobble pile of freaking and this stuff, this here, this right here, when you have 3 butt connectors in less than a foot, just start over, guys, because this stuff might have been heat shrink, but this is heat shrink. How about that? They use all them expensive heat shrink connectors. Oh, they heat shrink that one. But, you know, use the least amount of these as possible. Just go back and replace the wire. Why would you have 3 butt connectors in a foot? Literally. That makes no sense. Just replace the wire. So I found another spot underneath too. It looked like maybe an exhaust pipe at one time had burned it, so I pulled that all apart too, and I have to check all those wires because I don't have taillights either. This Blazer's getting to be an electrical nightmare. But together, guys, we're going to figure all this out. So stay tuned. I'll cut you back on when I got more to show. Well, we just pushed her into the garage real quick, and I got to show you guys something exciting. I'll tell you what, it is the smallest thing sometimes that can make a guy happy. Boom. I got brake lights. I pushed it in with a Suburban, and I saw that it had brake lights, and I am absolutely amazed. Still no park lights yet, but I'm working on that. Alright, so I got that wiring wired up back there. I can't tell if I hear the fuel pump come on or not because these guys are too damn noisy. So I'm going to work on these wires I got the other day. I threw on this bumper real quick. It's a little bit, the radiator support has to be, I got to put more bolts in it. I just put one in it to set it there for now. But I got to put a radiator support in there. And I got to help her. She's taking out the passenger seat because we're starting the interior restoration. Okay, go ahead. Get started. Purple hair.
Well, how much? You said you got to put a thing under there so I can.
Well, you got to see if that's what's turning.
It is what's turning.
She's learning that the bolts spin on the bottom. All right, guys, we got it back inside here. I'm going to call it a wrap for the night. Let's see if I can shine any light down there. There's my contribution for the blood and the sweat for the day. What I did was I got these on. I got to find my little torch to melt those ends, but I got those connected back together real good, and I put tape on that one that was spliced. And there was a problem with the starter, or the one of those wires was cutting my starter, because earlier today I tried to start it and it wouldn't start. But now I can't test the fuel pump out because the starter's bad. I hate these junk starters. It's brand new too. I bet you that thing was in the Suburban for 10 starts. And I thought I'd be good and put it in here, but so as far as right now goes, this budget build, the budget is at, well, the funding for the budget is at 0. So, content's going to be coming as 0 cost. So whatever I can do for 0 cost, because I haven't been working, got to get going. So, I could end up swapping out the inner fenders. I could do that. I have to wait on. I actually the starter that was on this motor, the solenoid cracked. So I have another starter here, but for some reason it looks odd to me. For one, the pinion's kicked out in this nose on here. For some reason, I'm not sure what that starter went to. And then I got a high torque mini starter here, but I don't know how to set that up. That looks weird to me. So yeah, that bolts straight on. So tomorrow I'm going to try to put this solenoid on, because the whole end cracked when I tried to take the positive cable off. So I'm going to use the other solenoid tomorrow. We're going to be swapping parts around and trying to get done what we can get done. I know the other starter worked just fine. So for now, I can't turn it over to know if I got fuel or anything. So I did find those wires that were pinched and all that. So that's a good sign. And I did get that old security system yanked out. And when I turned the key on, one of those wires that I had did send power to the back, so I'm not sure if that did the fuel pump or not. But that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed my content. Leave a comment. Tell me what you guys want to see more of. I'm working on some rust repair on my son's car. I'm going to be working on the rust repair on this, but it's on super tight budget. So I like the budget stuff because it don't have to be perfect. I'm not a perfect kind of guy on these projects. So, oh, I got the bumper on, and I think I said that earlier. It looks crooked because the well, I got smaller tires on that side, both side. They're trailer tires, and the it's not bolted on all the way, and I still got to put the mounts for the radiator on. This is just the radiator sport's just sitting on here. So enough of my babbling for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do the right thing.